Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News. It is September 6th, 2024, and it's reported that the registration of Cedric has not been completed. Also, the Nico Williams Saga is not over yet. And finally, Xavi's entourage is upset about the statements of some of the Barcelona players. We have a lot to discuss. So let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo. This is the Barca News live podcast where not only do I get to share Barcelona news with you, but I also get to interact with you lovely people in the chat section by reading your comments out loud, answering any questions, and getting that discussion going. For those of you who will be watching when the podcast ends, I will be putting timestamps in the description and chapters in the timeline in case you do want to skip through that discussion. And of course, the Barca News podcasts are every Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, which have officially become my favorite days because I love podcast days. I love podcast days because I get to interact with you people in the chat section. Now, having said all that, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment. If you are looking for any Barcelona jerseys or merchandise, make sure to hit the Goal Kids, Kickback, or Fanatics. If you are looking to place any sports bets, make sure you hit the Bet Us. All links are in the description. If you click on them, you'll be helping this channel, but you would also be helping yourself because you will be getting some pretty cool discounts and offers that are not available for people who don't have access to the link. All right, having said all that, let's start with the news. But before we begin with the news, quick announcement. Last podcast, I asked, do you guys want me to raffle an away jersey, a Barcelona away kit, the black kit, which was just released a few days ago? A lot of you said, yes, Mo, please raffle it. And well, the news is that, ladies and gentlemen, I will be raffling not one, not two, but 3 Barcelona away jerseys. The way you can do that is by going to the Barca News Instagram account. It's barca.news29. The link is in the YouTube description. If you're in the channel on the main page, if you click on About, you'll see a bunch of links. There's a link for the Instagram page, the Twitter page, the TikTok page, which I no longer use it. I should remove it. But anyways, if you go to the About section in the channel, you will see the Instagram link. So all you have to do is click on that link, go to the Barca News Instagram account, follow it, and then drop a comment on the post of the raffle. That has not gone up yet, but as soon as the podcast ends, I will be posting it. It's going to be a picture of the away kit. It's going to say raffle post. So all you have to do is, again, you go to our Instagram page, you follow the page, and then you drop a comment in the post, okay? You can be whatever you want. It can be an emoji, it could be hello Mo, one letter, whatever you want. You drop a comment, and everybody who comments on that post will be entered into the raffle, and I will be raffling 3 away Barcelona kits. And guess what? You get to pick the size, you get to pick the number, and you get to pick whatever name you want on the bag. If you want a player's name, you want your name, your mama's name, whoever. 3 away kits. Very, very excited about that. And I guess I'm moving my hands too much because my camera just went out of focus. But anyways, the post will be going live as soon as the podcast ends. So stay tuned. And with that, now we begin with the news. It's been 5 minutes and I haven't even started the news. But let's talk about the news, ladies and gentlemen, because it's been revealed why Hansi Flick made the substitutions that he made against the Real Valladolid match. And well, it was no other than to, take into account the FIFA international break. Now, we know that Hansi Flick is very, very big on conditioning, is very big on his players being as healthy as possible for as long as possible throughout the season. So it looks like part of his plan, part of his conditioning plan for the whole season was not only to take into account La Liga matches, Champions League matches, Copa del Rey matches, but he also has taken into account for his full plan of the season, the FIFA international breaks, which is something that many coaches don't do. Many coaches plan just for their season, whatever competitions they're playing. But then the FIFA international breaks, kind of they leave it up to the international coaches to take into consideration. But now Hansi Flick, who wants to control every aspect of the condition of the players, and as such has taken into account not just all the matches that the players will be playing with Barcelona, but also all the matches that they will be playing with their international squads. And that is why he made several substitutions against the Real Valladolid match, because he wants his players to get the needed rest and he wants them to be as healthy as possible. Now, looking at this lineup from the Real Valladolid match, as you can see, there were several substitutions. Here we saw Robert Lewandowski, who only played until the 73rd minute. We had Dani Olmo, who also came out around, I think it was the 81st, 82nd minute. We saw Pedri come out, and we saw Pau Cubarsí come out. And again, a lot of these substitutions happened before Barcelona had completely sealed the match, which of course begged the question, why is Hansi Flick doing this? The match is not over. And while this is the reason, because he wanted them to be well rested, or at least not as exhausted to go to the international break. And as you can see, the players he did not rest. For example, Ter Stegen, because of course goalkeepers, they don't get as exhausted. Jules Koundé, because he had a longer vacation than the rest of the players. Iñigo Martinez and Alejandro Valde, two players that were not called up to the Spanish national team. And then Rafinha, who was not called up to the Brazilian squad. And finally, Lamine Yamal, who was not rested, but that's because he had a longer vacation than the rest of his teammates. So pretty cool to see how Hansi Flick continues to plan ahead, continues to wanting to ensure that his players are always healthy. But at the same time, I don't like this, not what Flick did, but I don't like the fact that a Barcelona coach has to be planning ahead for the FIFA international breaks when it's Barcelona who pays the salary of these players. It's Barcelona who pays for the injury of these players if they get injured. It's Barcelona who continues to pay the salary of the players who are injured and cannot play. And meanwhile, these international squads, they don't fork a dime. And we have to pay for these FIFA breaks, which continue to be, longer and longer and more added matches, which definitely taking a toll on all the players. I know I've complained about this a million times. I'll continue to complain about this a million times because I don't like what I'm seeing in the calendars as they get more and more hectic and his players continue to get injured. But anyways, more news. And this one is bad news because it's been reported that Barcelona still have registrations problems. And this time is with Pau Victor. Now, Pau Victor was here last season on loan from Girona. Barcelona ended up signing him on a permanent basis. They're saying around 2.53 million euros from Girona. He was the big surprise, the big breakthrough in the summer during the summer preseason tour. He was actually the top scorer of the summer preseason tour. I thought we would see a lot more of him. So far, we haven't. But at the end of the day, it's still pretty early in the season. We're only 4 matches in. We don't know why exactly we haven't seen a lot of him. But today, it's been revealed that Pau Victor is only registered until December 31st. So just like Dani Olmo, remember, Dani Olmo was registered in the place of Andreas Christensen, who got injured. So Dani Olmo and Pau Victor are only registered until the end of this year. So come the end of this year, Barcelona are going to have to work hard to find space on the wage bill to register both Pau Victor and Dani Olmo. Otherwise, they could end up missing the second half of the season. Now, of course, Barcelona do expect to close the Nike deal in the next few weeks. Some are saying maybe by October, but they are expecting to close it by the end of this year. If that happens, of course, Barcelona would reach the 1-1 rule, and they will be able to register both both Pau Victor and Dani Olmo, and Iñigo Martinez. I guess I was thinking about it subconsciously because he too is registered only in the place of Ronald Araujo. And of course, we do have Xavi, who's only registered under a court order. So if a court decides to reverse its order, it's over. Xavi's no longer registered. So Barcelona still have a lot of work to do as far as registrations, even though the summer transfer market is already closed. Now, let's start with the chat section, and then we will talk about another registration problem. All right, let's see what everybody's saying. Isa says, hi, Mo. Isa in Sierra Leone was waiting for me to be with you in this last session. Much love from me to you. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for your comment. Thank you for tuning in. And thank you, all of you, for being absolutely amazing subscribers. And Emmanuel says, Mo, is there anything good tonight? I hope to have great news from you tonight. Maybe in the next video. This podcast, not the best of news, but I think you'll like the next video that will upload once the podcast ends. Plus, if anything, if there is good news, remember, I'm raffling 3 away kits. So I guess that's good news. All right, Wisdom says, Pedri and Olmo have never played together for Spain before, but once Flick does it, Spain's coach does it too. It's so frustrating to watch. And Yamal, another 94 minutes, even after an injury scare. Absolutely agree with you. I think they're going to end up burning out Lamine Yamal if he stays on this path where he played all the matches in the Euros, comes back, plays all the matches with Barcelona. Now he's playing all the matches with Spain. And what kills me the most is he's playing in a meaningless, excuse my language, in a bullshit cup. What the fuck is the Nations League? Nobody cares about the fucking Nations League. The only reason the Nations League was established is just so we can have formal matches and that clubs would have to be obligated to release their players. Because remember, before the Nations League, teams would just play friendly matches just to stay, in competitive rhythm, just so they can continue playing together and maintain that chemistry between their players because, players spend most of their time with their clubs, not with their international squad. So before, it was mostly friendly matches. But remember, on the FIFA rules, you're not obligated to release your players for friendly matches, but you are obligated to release them for official competition. So the only reason this idiotic Nations League was created is just to create a way for clubs to be obligated to release their players, and of course, for UEFA to continue making more and more money because they make a lot more money of these stupid tournaments that they keep inventing, like the Confederations Cup. What the fuck is a Confederations League, whatever the hell that shit is called? But anyways, I don't want to get too heated. This topic really, really pisses me off. But let's move on before I throw something at my computer screen. Obik says, hi, Mo, I really don't think we need Nico Williams anymore. Let's focus on registration of already existing players. Also, this season's fixtures are very tedious. La Liga should help us, please. I don't know necessarily we need Nico Williams as a person, but we do need a specialist on the left wing because we don't have that. Yes, Rafinha has been doing great, but even in his position is not really as a pure left winger. As you can see, Rafinha, even though he has been playing on the left, he plays a lot through the interior. He's been playing more of a left interior, left winger hybrid, not necessarily on the left wing the same way Lamine plays on the right. So we still have a weakness on that side where we don't have a specialist. We don't have an actual left winger that can fulfill that position. Rafinha has been mostly playing through the inside more than on the flank. So I don't necessarily agree that we don't need Nico Williams. Maybe not Nico Williams himself. Maybe it could be someone else. But we still need someone to play in that position, a specialist for the left winger. And well, for the price and for the skill and for the age, I think Nico Williams will be a steal. 58 million euros for Nico Williams, who's 21 years old, Euro Cups winner. We've seen the talent, the kind of talent that he has. I think that's a steal because if Nico Williams was playing in the Premier League, any club in the Premier League would have been asking 80, 90, maybe 100 million euros for Nico. But because he has that release clause, 58 million, it does make it a bargain. But anyways, I don't want to get ahead of myself. We do have to talk about Nico Williams in a little bit. Let's look at the donation. Hey, Ron, always with his generous donations. Thank you so much, my friend, for your support for the channel. But hey, Ron says, I'm changing. God, I can't read today. It's Friday, okay? I'm tired. I'm changing footballs this weekend. Got Texas versus Michigan tomorrow. I hope you have a great weekend, bro. Thank you, my friend. I hope you enjoy your match. I don't actually follow American football. The only match I watch is the Super Bowl, and that's about it. But whoever you're supporting, I guess you're supporting Texas because you're saying Hook'em. I hope your team wins, my friend, and I hope you get some good entertainment because when club football is on pause because of these FIFA breaks, I get pretty depressed because I have nothing to watch. But at least you'll have your team to watch tomorrow in college football. All right, let's get back to the news because we do have to talk about another registration problem, and it's no other than with Ivan Cedric. Now, you might still not know this name because I've only mentioned it once. As you might recall, Barcelona signed Ivan Cedric during the final days of the market from Las Palmas on loan. Now, Ivan Cedric is a 22-year-old center forward who signed for Las Palmas during the last moments of the transfer market. And then Las Palmas immediately had to clear space on their wage bill because guess what? Barcelona are not the only club who have registration problems. Pretty much every club in La Liga does except Madrid. But Las Palmas signed Ivan Cedric. Immediately they had to get rid of him because of their wage bill. So they loaned him out to Barca Athletic for a one-season loan with an option to buy. Now, Barca Athletic agreed to this loan because, well, they need someone in a center forward position. They don't have any strikers. Remember, Marguiu left to Chelsea. Pau Victor got promoted to the first team. So Barca Athletic are in desperate need of a center forward. So they took Ivan Cedric from Las Palmas on loan because it was the perfect solution for their needs. And this was, again, done during the final moments of the summer transfer market. And even though Barcelona had initially announced the signing, they immediately had to delete that post because there's a problem with his registration. Now, this problem does not emanate from Barcelona's already existing registration problems. It looks like this problem has resulted from paperwork, right? Because there's a lot of paperwork being exchanged, a lot of things being done. Ivan Cedric joining Las Palmas last minute, then from Las Palmas last minute moved to Barca Athletic. All this was done within hours before the summer transfer market was closed. And it seems that somewhere in this whole chaos and all this paperwork, the registration did not go through. So right now, Ivan Cedric is not registered. Now, Barcelona have presented an official complaint to the federation, not La Liga. Remember, La Liga is for the first and second division teams. Third division, which is where Barca Athletic play, is under the federation, Federación A, B, I don't fucking know what it's called. But anyways, Barcelona have presented an official complaint to the federation requesting that the registration of Ivan Cedric goes through. Now, so far, we have not heard a response from the federation yet. Ideally is that the federation will go back, look at everything, and approve this signing or the registration, and Ivan Cedric will become the center forward of Barca Athletic. If not, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if Ivan Cedric will have to go back to Las Palmas, or God forbid, we don't know if Ivan Cedric will end up the same way as Julián Araujo. Remember when Barcelona signed Julián Araujo in the winter transfer market, they submitted all his registration paperwork, but La Liga rejected it, saying that it wasn't done on time. And as such, Julián Araujo spent all the way from January when he got signed until summer just training because he couldn't play any single match because he wasn't registered. So he was just there hanging out, training every day, but not a single match. Hopefully that's not what happens with Ivan Cedric, because I would hate to see another player sign for Barcelona just to spend half of the season on the bench, not even on the bench, on the stands, not being able to play. So another registration problem, but at least this one does not emanate from Barcelona's financial situation. This emanates from just some kind of paperwork mess that happened when the transfer of him happened to Las Palmas, from Las Palmas to Barca Athletic, and it was all done during the final hours of the summer transfer market. All right, let's get back to the chat section, and then we will talk about Nico Williams, because guess what, guys? The Nico Williams saga is not over. We all thought it was, but nope, not over. Adonis says, hi, Mo. Hope you are doing great. I am so worried about the financial problems in our beloved club, Barcelona. Are we sure to reach the 1-to-1 rule before the winter transfer window? Please, your thoughts. Okay, that's a good question. And what the club are saying is that yes, because as soon as we sign the Nike deal, we will be able to reach the 1-to-1 rule, and the Nike deal is still being negotiated, but ideally, they're looking both to reach an agreement. They're saying by October. That still gives us a 2-month backup in case October comes and nothing happens, maybe November, maybe by December. But hopefully by December 31st, because after that, in January, the winter transfer market will open. We're also going to have to register Olmo. We're going to have to register Pau Victor. If Araujo's back, we're going to have to register Iñigo. And not to mention Xavi's, only register under a core order. So ideally, yes. If a Nike deal is closed, done. If not, Barcelona are going to have to get creative once again and trying to figure out a way to reach the 1-to-1 rule. Now, of course, Barcelona are also negotiating with their sponsors and with other companies to try to sell them the portion of Barca Vision that was owned before by Libero, which they didn't pay. So Barcelona are working on both fronts. If they close one or the other, they'll be able to reach the 1-to-1. If they close both, obviously, we're set. All right. Frank says, thanks for the raffle opportunity. I'll head to Instagram and follow once he posts a jersey raffle. Thank you for the efforts, dedication, and passion. Visca Barca. Thank you, my friend, for supporting the channel. And yes, guys, don't forget, I'm raffling 3 away jerseys. I will be putting the post up on the Instagram page. All you have to do is follow the page, drop a comment on the post, which is going to be a picture of the away jersey. And everybody who comments will get entered into the raffle. Now, only one comment will be counted. So if you put 100 comments, you're not going to get 100 entries. You're only going to get one. Okay? Just in case. All right. Shama says, hi, Mo. Hope you enjoy your day. Thank you, my friend. I hope you enjoy your day. And Ross, my man, Ross, says, I have good news. I saved 50% on my car insurance by switching to Geico. Just kidding. Be patient, you all. Our new stadium will get us not only back in track, but big time boom, boom. Yes, I agree 100%. By the way, I actually do have Geico. I don't know if I saved 50%, but I do have Geico. As far as the stadium, yes, the stadium is going to be a huge boost. Remember, right now, Barcelona are losing 100 million euros a season for playing at Montjuic, because not only is it a much smaller stadium with decreased capacity, so you can't sell as many tickets, it's also not getting filled because it's a pain in the ass to get to Montjuic. It's on top of a mountain. No private cars are allowed. You can only take public transportation. I went to Montjuic a few months ago for the Valencia match. I was lucky we had a bus because I was with the Peña, and the Peña hired a bus. We all chipped in for it. So it wasn't as big of a deal, but it is a pain in the butt to get to. So not only is it reduced capacity, also not many people are going to the stadium. So we're definitely losing money. And we have to pay rent money to the city of Barcelona, which are the owners of the stadium, to use the stadium. So not only are we losing money on reduced capacity and on reduced attendance, we're also losing money because we have to pay to rent the stadium. But once our stadium is open, I mean, it's only going to be 60%, but it's still going to be more than what Montjuic is. And it's expected to be full because everybody wants to go to the Camp Nou. And again, we don't have to pay rent to anyone. And Fitzroy says, hey, Mo, I keep thinking that the Spain coach has something against Barcelona. I hate international breaks. I don't think he has something against Barcelona, but, you know, these coaches are all acting in their best interest, right? They're like, I have these players. I want to win my matches, so I'm going to use the best players, and I don't care if they get injured or not because at the end of the day, I only have them for 2 matches. And if they rupture their tendons, I don't care because then they're back to their club, and that's their club's problem. So I don't think it's a personal thing where he's like, oh, I'm only going to play Barcelona players just so they can get injured. No, it just happens that some of the best players that Spain has are Barcelona players. All right, Sean says, hey, Mo, I think this could be the young last season for Barca with Bernal, Casado showing great performance. So Frankie could find himself on the bench. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see well, first of all, we'll see how does Frankie recover from his injury. Remember, his ankle is pretty ravished. He got injured, 3 times last season on the same ankle. We'll see how he bounces back from that injury. We'll see if he can stay healthy. We'll see if he can compete. I mean, at this point, you know, Frankie, it could be Frankie and Casado on a double pivot. We'll see what happens next summer or next season once Bernal is back healthy. All right, let's get back to the news and let's talk about the Nico Williams Saga, which we all thought was over when the summer transfer market closed, but it looks like it's not. Now, as you know, Barcelona tried to sign Nico Williams. He chose to stay at Athletic Club de Bilbao. And when he made the announcement, everybody in Athletic Club de Bilbao were flipping out. They're like, that's it. Nico Williams is staying. Ha, ha, ha. Joke's on you, Barcelona. Well, now it's only been, a week or 2 since the summer transfer market. Not even 1 week since the summer transfer market closed. And people in Athletic Club de Bilbao, the press there and the people there are already having doubts whether Nico's going to stay past 1 season. So all this confidence they had a few weeks ago, thinking that that's it, Nico's going to spend his whole career there, now it's out the window. And now they're already speculating that Nico could end up leaving next summer. And some are even speculating that Nico might already have an agreement in place with Barcelona to join next summer. And that's why he's not being focused, and that's why his performance has declined. There's no truth to that as far as Barcelona reaching an agreement for him to join next summer. But one thing is clear, is if he doesn't renew with Athletic Club de Bilbao, Barcelona would still be interested in signing him. Because right now he has a 58 million euro release clause. Barcelona could afford that. They think it's a good price, and they'd be willing to pay it next summer. If Nico renews, Athletic Club de Bilbao are going to insist on a higher release clause. And if that happens, game over. Barcelona are not going to pay more money for him. If he doesn't renew, Barcelona is still in the game. If he does, game over. Now, why are the speculation arising on whether he could sign again next summer or not? Well, for several reasons. We know that Nico wanted to stay because he wanted to play with his brother in a European competition, which is going to happen this season. Okay? Another reason is because recently, in his most recent interview, he kept saying, I chose to stay at Athletic Club de Bilbao. I always wanted to stay here, so I want to stay one more year. And he kept repeating that. I want to stay for one more year, one more year. Now, his contract expires in 2027. That's not one more year. That's 3 years from now. At no point did he say, I want to stay until the end of my contract. No point he said, I want to stay until 2027. He kept repeating, I want to stay for one more year, one more year. And also, another reason why the speculation has started to circulate is because by then, Barcelona are going to be in a much better financial condition. Remember, the reason why, one of the reasons Nico didn't want to come is because Barcelona could not guarantee his registration because of the financial situation. By next summer, that shouldn't be a problem. So when you put all that together, the fact that Barcelona expect to be better financially next summer, that Nico keeps saying that he's only staying for one more year, that Nico mostly stayed just so he can play for his brother this upcoming season, European competition, all that points at the fact that Nico could easily leave next summer. And since Barcelona would still be interested in him, that if he doesn't renew, then Barcelona could still be in the game for Nico. Again, if he renews, it's game over. All right, that is it as far as Nico Williams. Let's get back to the chat section, and then we will talk about the last bit of news, which is that Xavi's entourage are upset at some of the statements that the players have been making. Now, we do have a donation from Baby Scumbag who says, what's up, Mo? Happy Friday. Thank you, my friend, for your donation. Happy Friday to you as well. I hope you enjoy your weekend. I hope all of you watching enjoy your weekend. And Nima says, hey, Mo, who do you think will be Laporta's main rival for next election? That's a good question. I mean, first of all, I talked about this new party that has come to rise under the leadership of, oh my God, I'm blanking on his name. The guy whose both father and grandfather were Barcelona presidents. His party is called Mas que Som Clam. They're starting already to set the road for their candidacy, and then of course we have oh my God, I'm so tired I can't even think. The other guy who's always criticizing Laporta. I forgot his name, but I think those will probably be the two main candidates that will be going against Joan Laporta. And we do have a donation. Ferdinand says, hey, Mo, always my favorite Barca's content creator. Thanks for your work for Nico W. Now we understand why he never said, no, I don't want to go to Barca, but he did for PSG. Thank you, my friend, for your comment and for your donation. And yeah, you could be right. Maybe that is why, because maybe he was still considering joining Barcelona next summer. Again, we'll see what happens. It will all depend on whether he renews or not. So, all right, let's see. Victor Font. Just say me. It's going to be Victor Font. And it's going to be that party, the Som Clam, under the leadership of that guy whose dad and grandfather was Barcelona president. It'll come back to me. I promise. Anyways, let's get back to the news. We'll do the last bit of news, and then we'll do a lot more comments. But let's talk about Xavi Hernandez, because it's reported that his entourage are not happy about some of the statements that Barcelona players have been making. Now, we've covered some of these interviews lately. We've heard some of these statements made during press conferences. But pretty much the gist of it, a lot of the Barcelona players have been talking about the change that they have noticed under Flick. How trainings are more intense, how the team is in much better physical condition, etc., etc. In that, is something that Xavi's entourage does not like. They do not like all these comparisons that have been done, and they think that they are unfair comparisons, especially with the most recent statements that Pedri made. Now, you might ask, what did Pedri say? And well, this is what Pedri said most recently during the international break. But he said, we're putting in a lot more effort at the club than before. I think the new physical trainers are really benefiting us. We're working really hard, and it shows in our performance. The team doesn't slow down after the 70th or 80th minute. We maintain our physical level. Now, since Pedri made these statements, there's been a lot of talks in the media like, oh, is he taking a dig at Xavi? Is he criticizing Xavi? Blah, blah, blah. I don't think that's what Pedri meant. He was just making, a comparison. Look, we train harder now. It's evident in our game, which that's a fact. I don't think it's opinion. I think we've all seen it. We've all seen how Barcelona maintained their intensity for a longer period of time. We saw that a lot during last season, where the team by the 60th minute would slow down. Not anymore. So I don't think Pedri was looking to take a dig at Xavi. I don't think Pedri hates Xavi or whatever. I think he simply was stating a fact that we've all noticed, right? But nonetheless, Xavi's entourage has not liked this, and they have hit back. Now, Xavi's entourage believe that all these comments coming from the players is because of the club, that the club is behind all these statements, and that the club is telling the players to say these things, in order to kind of garner mass support. Like, hey, guys, yeah, we weren't good before, but don't worry, we have a new coach. We're going to be better now, so let's just support the club and let's support Laporta. I don't think that's the case. I think the players are simply saying what they've noticed, which we have all noticed. Again, we've all noticed an increase in intensity in the matches. Now, Xavi's entourage, another point that they bring up is that when they won La Liga, nobody brought up the conditioning thing, right? That people complain about conditioning last season, but they didn't complain about it the season before when Barcelona won La Liga. Now, they do admit that the team's conditioning went down during last season in comparison to the one before, but they attribute that to the injuries of Balde and Gavi. These are two players who play with lots of intensity, and to Joao Felix being on a team, because we all thought Joao Felix doesn't even run after a naked chick. He just doesn't. Now, to that point, I say, I think it's BS. Gavi's still injured, and the team is still playing with a lot more intensity. Sure, Balde's back, but it's not just Balde that we're seeing playing with lots of intensity. We're seeing everybody playing with lots of intensity, right? As far as Joao, I can see that point. Joao Felix, lost cause. Let's not even bother talking about it. Now, as far as nobody talking about the conditioning when they won La Liga, they are a little bit right in that, because it was still a problem. I think the team was still slowing down by the 60th minute. But of course, because they won La Liga, everybody forgets. But I didn't, and I always criticized the team even when they won La Liga, because I thought that Liga was won horrendously. Right, barely winning matches, barely scraping by, struggling against everybody, even the smallest teams. I thought that season was a disaster, but people tend to forget overlook those things because they won La Liga. So in that regards, they are right that people did not mention conditioning when La Liga won, but the excuse on why the conditioning plummeted, I think, is straight up BS. It has nothing to do with Gavi and Balde being injured. We're seeing the whole team playing with a lot more intensity. Now, finally, the last point that Xavi's entourage are making in their defense is that the injuries are still happening at the same rate. And to that, I say they're right. But I did not credit the injuries last season to the conditioning of the team. And I said that multiple times on the channel. I said the injuries have nothing to do with the conditioning. It's simply the calendar, because we were seeing the same rate of injuries at all the clubs. So unless you want to claim that all the clubs have terrible conditioning, then obviously we have a problem. And I don't think it's the conditioning. It's simply the calendar, which keeps getting crazier and crazier. They just added more matches to the Champions League, as if these players need more matches, right? Now, so overall, I think I understand why Xavi's entourage could be upset, because at the end of the day, when the player's saying things are a lot much better now, it is direct criticism, even if the players are not trying to do that. But they also need to accept the reality that, yes, the team is a lot more fit this season. And instead of, crying about it and be like, oh my God, I can't believe they're saying that, I think they should take it more as a point of self-reflection and say, look, let's learn from this. We didn't do a good job. Let's learn from this so our future teams don't go through the same thing. And it's nothing bad, because remember, most of Xavi's staff are incredibly inexperienced. So they should take this as an opportunity to learn, to improve, so whatever team they coach next, they can do a better job rather than crying about it and coming up with cheap excuses. Now, having said all of that, forget Xavi, forget the entourage. Let's focus on the conditioning. Yes, conditioning has improved, and we've seen it. But Xavi's team's problem was not conditioning. It was always the lack of ideas, the lack of strategy, the lack of system of play, the lack of identity. That was always the problem. I don't think that conditioning was the main problem. Yes, it affected the team because sometimes it would slow down, but I never thought that the conditioning was the main problem, because look, we could have hired Flick staff and kept Xavi as a coach and have Flick staff get the players just as well conditioned as they are now, and I bet you $1 million that the team would still suck. Because if you don't have an identity, if you don't have a system of play, if you don't have an idea on how to play, it doesn't matter how hard or how fast you run. It's not gonna serve you well, because if you don't know what you're doing, what's the point of running? Again, this is not a marathon. This is not track and field. This is football. But that's my points as far as that's the news. That's all the news for this podcast. And with that, let's do a few more comments, and then we will end the podcast. That's French for the podcast. Just kidding. Louis says, on one side, yes, the guys are moving around with a lot more vigor, not so static on the pitch. On the other side, Xavi is the one who put together the team. Exactly, my friend. Good point. And Appeler says, hello, more greetings from Cameroon. I love watching your videos. You are my favorite Barca journalist. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for watching the videos. Thank you for your comment, and thank you for your support. Spoon says, what's up, Mo? Big hello from Rota, Spain. All right. I don't even know where that is in Spain. Could Barca sue Libero for not fulfilling their part of the Barca Vision deal? Barca made moves based on them keeping their word. Yes. And Barcelona has already filed a lawsuit against Libero in court. I know a lot of people have been asking me this lately. Yes, there is a lawsuit against Libero. That lawsuit is still pending. Litigation takes months, sometimes years. So there is a lawsuit. It's still pending. We don't have a result yet. Oh, Omari says, hey, Mo, can you tell me happy birthday? My birthday is tomorrow. Happy birthday, my friend. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful birthday tomorrow. Hope you get to enjoy it with all your loved ones. And it's a Saturday, so maybe you can go out, party, have a good time. But happy birthday. I wish you the best. May you have many, many more years full of health, blessings, and good Barcelona matches. Henok says, Mo, why does your credits no longer start with Messi, the greatest player in the history of Barcelona? It now starts with Yamal. It has to do with, I wanted to update it. I had my editor update it, and he put, more pictures from this season. Of course, Messi will always be the greatest Barcelona player, even football player, period. But I just wanted to make it more, more new, right? And Messi's no longer at Barcelona, so I wanted to have players who are still at Barcelona. P says, hello, greetings from Canada. Keep on the good job. Thank you, my friends. Thank you for your comment and for your support of the channel. And Jose Aguilar says, hey, Mo, why can't teams refuse to send players to pointless national team games? Because they can't. Unfortunately, they can't. You can negotiate. You can try to negotiate and say, hey, how about we keep this player? Or how about we send them now, but next one we don't? But you're required to release the players for official matches of the national team, not friendly matches. All right, let's see. What else? Colin says, when did you become a French speaker, Mo? Since birth, as you can see. I'm fluent. Just kidding. Nima says, I like Laporta despite his shortcomings and flaws, but I'd like to see if there's a better man for the job out there. So far, no one. I agree, but again, still too early in the election season. You know, once we get closer to 2026, we'll see a lot more candidates. We'll see what their platforms are. We'll see what they're offering, and then we'll be able to make better decision on who is, I guess, more suited. Alex says, Mr. Mo, un abrazo from Miami. Great job you're doing, compadre. Keep it up. Vizca Barca and go Canes. All right. Thank you, my friend. Are you talking about chicken Canes? Canes chicken? Because I do love Canes chicken. But thank you, my friend, for your comment and for your support. And Timothy says, hi, Mo. I prefer for Barca to go for Rafael Leao instead of Nico. I think he's more dominant on the left wing and not intimidated by defenders. The thing about Rafael Leao, and I think if he was Brazilian, it'd be Rafael. Maybe also in Portuguese. I don't know. Because Portuguese, Brazilian, and Brazilian Portuguese and Portugal's Portuguese are a little different. But anyways, Leao. The problem with Leao is that AC Milan are going to want something closer to 120 and maybe even 150 million. And that's just something that Barcelona cannot afford. They simply can't. As opposed to the 58 for Nico, you're talking about half the price. So would I like Leao? Absolutely. I think he's the best left winger in the world. But we also got to keep in mind, the financial reality of the club. And Valerian says, World Cup better than Euro? No. The reason this is, look, here's the reality. We have a player, Ronaldo, who's obsessed with being the best. And for the longest time, he's been haunted by Messi. And even till this day, with him being in Saudi, you can tell that he's haunted by the fact that Messi's better than him and that he's never going to reach those levels. And he's so desperate to be better than Messi. The Euros is better than the World Cup. But some people just cannot admit. Look, he's achieved a lot. He's one of the greatest footballers in history. He's achieved more than most football players can even dream of. Dude, just be happy. You won so much. 5 Champions Leagues, Euro. You've won so much. Individually, on a team level, even monetarily. He's incredibly, incredibly wealthy. Just be happy. But some people just can't. Some people, they let that voice in the back of their head just, Messi. But no, Euros is not better than the World Cup. Wyatt says, if Ansu can hit the ground running and stay fit the whole season, I think we can win the league. I mean, that'd be amazing. That'd be amazing if that happens. And Seam says, I think Leao's value has dropped from his performance last season and his season so far, to be honest. I mean, nonetheless, that's what AC Milan want, between 120 to 150, which, again, it's not something that Barcelona can afford. And Street Fighter says, what up, Neymar? Barcelona has better chance with me playing than Neymar. I'm kidding. But let's be honest, Neymar is done. Neymar has been done. There's a reason why he's in Saudi. Ross says, we can sell Ferran and Fati, and with that money, get Leao, Nico, or even Kvaratskhelia. I don't think so. Ferran, the most they'll give us for Ferran, maybe 10, 15. Fati, given his injuries, same thing. 15, 20. 30, 35 million. Can't get anybody, not even Nico. All right. That is all, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for your comments, likes, subscriptions, donations. I will be uploading another video after this, so stay tuned to the channel. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment. And as always, Vizca Barca.